Welcome back to Julie's Infinite Playlist. This is Julie. First, I'd like to start out by giving a shout out to the Hoodoo Music Podcast. If you haven't checked it out, you definitely should. It's based out of South Carolina. Mark interviews a bunch of bands from that area. There's some really fantastic music coming out of there, so I definitely recommend checking that out. And if you'd like to support my podcast, the easiest way is through iTunes and Stitcher, rate, reviewing, and subscribing. That'll help the podcast get sponsors. You can also monetarily support the podcast through Patreon by visiting patreon.com/Julie's Infinite Playlist. And you can sign up to donate anywhere from $1 to $10 a month and get some pretty awesome rewards in return. Today, we have Forever Starts Today, again, part 2, to discuss their new album, Always Hope. So I hope you enjoy it, and they are performing a song off of that album at the end of the podcast as well, so I definitely recommend sticking around for that. Thank you. Welcome to Julie's Infinite Playlist. Today we have Forever Starts Today for a second time to talk about their new album. How are you guys doing?
Doing good.
Good. How are you?
Good. Just in case anybody new is listening, do you want to introduce yourselves and what instrument you play?
Yeah, so my name's Christina, and I sing in the band.
I'm Troy, I play guitar.
I'm Kyle, and I play bass.
I'm Nick, and I play the drums.
Awesome. And so the album was great.
Thank you.
I've listened to it many times. I really enjoyed it a lot. And the album release show was fantastic.
Thank you. That was a lot of fun for us.
It was so much fun.
I think I had my foot near your face
basically
whenever I was on the monitor.
time.
I was like, oh my god, I feel so bad. My foot is like right near your face.
I just kept watching. I was like, just don't kick me.
Sorry.
It'll be fine.
I was in the moment. I'm sorry.
No, it was cool.
Sorry.
So how did the concept for the album come about? There's kind of a concept.
Yeah. I think before we started writing it, we wanted something that was going to be different from Limitless, and I think that we all kind of have matured a little bit since then, and so we wanted the songs to have more meaning and really reach people and help people in a sense, and so we touched on like some heavier topics than Limitless, our first EP had, but in a positive light, as we like to do.
With how like happy all of the songs on Limitless were, we kind of wanted to show a different side of us, to show that we weren't like a one-trick pony. Right? I guess if that makes sense. So
Our pony can do many tricks.
We have a very talented pony.
It's always good to have a pony that can do more than one trick.
Yes.
So you mentioned there are some darker themes, and I guess, yes, it was a conscious decision, as you had stated. I know that Optimist is it about addiction? Or?
Kind of. I wrote it about like just having somebody in your life who might be addicted to really any kind of thing that might be bad for them, and just trying to like give them advice on like, you can do this and you can get out of it, and they don't, and a lot of times they can end up dragging you down with them, which is just really hard to do. So I had to make that decision in my life to kind of let someone go who wasn't helping themselves. And you can kind of hear in that song, like, my frustration, because I did care about that person, but...
Yeah.
I've
been there before. It's not easy.
It's really hard. And that was probably one of the most honest songs, I think, on that album. Like, it was hard for me because... I mean, normally you want to put, like, your best foot forward in a lot of things, but I felt like that song was very real. I wrote it very in the moment, and it wasn't like, oh, how can I, like, make this prettier or whatnot.
Right.
So, yeah.
I think it came out fantastic.
Thank you. I was so nervous about it, because that was our first song we put out, our first single for the new album.
I've lost count of how many times I've listened to it.
Oh, that's so cool.
When you guys posted the thing that, was it 20,000 listens, or...
Yeah.
Or something?
We broke 20,000 streams on Spotify, which is really cool.
Blows
my mind.
I really had a good hand in that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Keep it up.
Yeah, you're doing great.
Oh, yeah. And how long did it take to get the album together?
In what regard? Like writing it, or like the recording process? Like everything? So...
You want to break down each part?
Yeah.
No, I was being serious. For writing, probably,
like 9 months?
less than a year. We actually started writing it before the EP came out.
Yeah, February of last year is
Okay.
really where Kyle and I really got started.
And then when did we go in the studio?
We went in the
It was
studio in December.
of 2016.
I
Yeah.
thought it was earlier than that.
No, it was December of last year.
I think we were in there for like 2.5 weeks.
Yeah, we had 10 days in the studio. Yeah, sorry, I don't mean to keep
Yeah,
it
and
down.
then we had our friend Zell make the artwork. He did that pretty quickly, and then there were some talks with like Third String Records, and we weren't sure what was going on with that, and so it was a process. It was
Yeah.
very stressful, but like the day it came out, it was just like it's all over.
It like melted. Like,
You don't have to worry about paying off anything. It's mixed, mastered artwork. You picked out where to get a duplicate, like all that. Just there's so
Yeah.
much stuff that goes into actually putting out now that not a lot of people know about.
Yeah.
But, like not only does it cost a lot of money, but there's so much stuff that you have to get done with it. Like
Right.
especially with the PR campaign.
yeah, like
bet.
promoting it, artwork, picking the song titles, track listing, where you want to get it mixed and mastered, and just so much stuff. So we're just glad it's over with and out finally.
Yeah.
So
Now we can have fun
Yeah,
and
we-
play the songs.
we got the final masters back like early this year, and originally the record was supposed to come out in early summer, but we hit a few snags and that pushed our PR campaign back. So we like sat on these songs for like more than 6 months, and it's just like eating at us,
Yeah.
like not playing them. Like
I just want to do it.
yeah, I mean it was a lot of work, and it took way longer than we expected, but
Yeah.
we're very happy with how everything came out.
Awesome. 10 days doesn't seem like very long for studio time, was it?
It was done so
Yeah.
fast.
So we had Nick was given 3 days to track drums. This is one of my favorite stories. Didn't even need 2 days. Like this was the first record that Nick's been on. He walked into a studio he's never been in before. Met a producer he's never met before, worked with before. Hasn't recorded on like a full length before, and he'd only been in the band like a month.
Yeah.
And so, like, he joined the band, and we're like, okay, we'll learn these 11 songs. You have a month to make them perfect.
Oh my goodness.
yeah, we just kind of threw them in there.
And yeah, and like the whole first day of like really recording any instrument is making sure the tones are good, right?
Right.
Getting all the mic placement right, which normally, especially for drums, takes several hours.
Yeah, because there's so many different
Yeah,
parts.
and he was the only one in the studio. I was away. Everybody else was working. I get a text message from him at the end of the day because I was like, "Hey, how'd it go in the studio?" It's like I knocked out 8 songs today. And I was like, "What?"
It's like, it was
Luckily we were using in-house drums.
Yeah,
So they already knew all the tones. They had everything tuned up, so they know where to place it. It was
Yeah.
just setting up. What I brought was just my snare and my cymbals, but they're all high quality gear, so it really didn't take a lot of time to get everything done.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
And then how we recorded it is I played it once through, so Joey Milligan, our producer, could get all the levels set up, and then we recorded it 3 times in a row. So we had all decently good takes, and he spliced everything together, did a beat master on it, make sure everything lined up, and that was it.
yeah. Like Nick knocking out those 8 songs. Like I was like, if you get 4 songs today, I'll be stoked because we had 3 days to
Yeah.
record drums. He needed like a day and a quarter.
I knocked out 8. I could have probably knocked out more, but I had to stop for lunch.
Yeah. Eating is definitely a good idea.
Yeah. We were like at like 4. We were at like 4:30 or something like that, and Joey like talks to me over the headphones. He's like, "Have you eaten today?" I'm like, "No." He's like, "You need to eat."
Yeah. So yeah, like to crank out 11 songs in 10 days, like it was a challenge, but like when you've got great musicians, it makes it.
Yeah.
Bass was recorded in 1 day.
Oh my gosh.
we were just really prepared, especially with
Yeah.
all the pre-production
Yeah.
we did at our apartment at the time.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
Then from the songs going from pre-pro to the studio, not much was changed, so we already knew our parts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was another reason why everyone just nailed their instrument
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
then and there. So that was definitely a plus.
It made things super easy. Yeah, just going in prepared, like that's
Yeah.
the very first Green Day EP was recorded, mixed, and mastered in less than 2 days.
Oh my
And
gosh.
so, like, it's like, cool, like, that's tight. If a good band knocks out a good record quickly, like,
Right.
you know, hopefully that's a good sign.
Definitely. Definitely. And so you kind of talked about who you recorded with. Were they new producers and?
No, same producer as the first record, Limitless. The Limitless EP was recorded in a spare bedroom at Joey's house.
With just Troy, me, and Nathan.
Yeah. The drums are Superior drums. The guitars are run through Guitar Rig. So, like, there's a lot of stuff that we learned going over to Orb. Orb Studios is where Joey works now. That's run by Matt Noveski, who's the bass player from Blue October.
Okay.
And it was really cool. He'd come in and just kind of listen in the control room every now and then.
Yeah.
And I remember this one day we were tracking guitars, and he looks over me, he's like, "Man, this is really good. I like this." So I'm like, "Whoa! I could do with a platinum record."
Yeah.
Thinks what the songs that we wrote are cool. Like, so that was cool. So, but yeah, same producer. We had a new mixing and mastering engineer. Joey mixed Limitless for us, and then we had Corey Brunneman in San Antonio master that record for us. This record, we had the awesome privilege of working with Paul Levitt. He worked on the So Wrong It's Right All-Time Low record.
Okay.
He's done some of the like Punko's rock and Punko's pop and he's done a couple of those records. So he's like super prestigious, and he's an incredible engineer. That was same producer though. I don't see us ever not working with Joey, at least anytime soon. He's got our sound, like he understands it, like he hears what we hear in our head, and like he makes it happen. It's awesome.
Yeah, that sounds perfect. And so you mentioned you're on Third String Records now. How's that been?
It's been cool. We've gotten to meet a lot of really awesome people so far. Both people in bands, people that work directly with Third String. We've got some cool opportunities that have been presented to us because of that, and it's been cool. It's been different. It's been a different experience for us.
Yeah.
Kyle's the only one who's been in a signed band.
Yeah.
Before this.
It's cool to have someone believe in you.
Yeah. Well, yes.
I was signed once. Don't forget it.
Christina and Kyle.
Yeah, fair. So, it's Mike really believes in us, and that's really cool.
I like how much he promotes his bands too.
Yeah.
He doesn't just leave it up to his team. Like, he really believes in the artists who he signs, and he makes sure he works as hard as he can to make sure like they're in front of as many people as possible.
Yeah.
He stuck us on a lot of Spotify playlists and really helped our music reach a new audience. So
He was
for that.
very hands-on during our PR campaign. Now our manager also works for Third String, and so they're very close already. But it was really cool to see somebody in his position who's as well known as he is. Not only believe in us so much, but be so hands-on and just help us make this release as good as it could be.
Yeah.
So it's been cool.
Awesome. And the pre-sales were good?
Yeah.
Yeah. Better than I
Yeah,
expected, actually.
That's always a good thing.
Yeah.
We didn't really say anything about this. We just kind of kept it to us. But the first day of tour was the day our record came out, and we were at a Witch in San Angelo before our show with Dozer, and I was like, "Screw it, let me check to see where we're at. Like, let's see if we charted. Like, that'd be super cool." And it was categorized under alt rock, and we were number 106 on the alt rock charts on iTunes. Awesome. The day it came out, which was really cool. I mean, like, the new Paris record was there, the Paramore record was there, so it was like really cool to see our name among so many other bands and musicians that we look up to. It was really cool.
That's awesome. That's really cool. And so the reaction to the album has been good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, overwhelming.
Awesome.
I think.
Yeah.
I'd
like
say
it.
so.
I like it when people send me like snaps and stuff of them listening to the song.
Yeah.
Because it's so funny, as a musician, you put this music out, you really don't know how much it's being listened to unless people tell you.
Right.
Yeah.
So you don't really know how it's being perceived unless people go out of their way to let you know. And so, yeah, I'm just grateful anytime like somebody sends me a snap or something of them listening. I'm like, oh, you made my Friday.
We've got some really cool feedback from some really cool people, some unexpected places for sure. I've got friends in like high school that are like blowing our stuff up now.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. They're coming out of the woodwork.
Right. All it took was us announcing that we were getting signed. But even our buddy Rafe, who plays guitar in a band called Insurgents, I don't know if you know who they are.
Maybe.
They're an
of
awesome
familiar.
band. They're so good. They're pretty heavy, and Rafe, who listens to like a lot of like hardcore and all genres of metal, like he gave us props on like some certain heavier parts on the record, and he's like, this is really cool, and I'm like, that, I don't know, it meant a lot coming from him.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
we all love Rafe, and we all look up to him.
Yeah, we've got some background music now. And what do you guys? Each of you have a favorite song or line from a song on the record?
Oh, that's a good question.
You probably need a minute.
Yeah, let me think on that, y'all.
I've been really enjoying Not This Time lately.
Mm-hmm.
It's always been that and Optimist go back and forth as my favorite songs on the record. But since we've been playing Optimist, that show's now been opening with that. Like that one, I'm really.
It's such a strong song too.
Thank you.
That when you guys put that out, and the first time I listened to it, I was just like, "This is amazing."
Thank you. Yeah, when Kyle and I wrote that on acoustic guitars.
Yeah.
And like we like freaked out and immediately recorded it, like made a video and sent it to Christina for her to start writing too. Yeah, so we've been really stoked on that song since we wrote it.
I think I'm gonna go with Optimist as well. Sorry to not be original there.
No, that's okay.
But I think I'm gonna choose that one because whenever we play it live, like lately, I think because it is so new, like that's the song where Troy plays like that opening, and then it's so cool because the audience like gets hyped, and like that's the time when like I felt like, oh, we might be like that's how rock stars
When we played it at
feel.
the release show, like people like yelled and I tried to, I was like, I had chills the whole time, and I was like, it's like, whoa, this is like
It was so
mind-boggling.
cool.
Yeah.
It was an out-of-body experience. Like it was crazy.
I bet. Yeah, as soon as you guys started playing, I was like,
Yes, it's so fun because we get so excited playing these songs. So like to see other people get like that too, it makes me so happy.
What's your favorite song, Kyle?
All of them. It's pretty much the same thing Troy said. When we wrote Not This Time, we were just really pumped on it. And I was like, we need to record this and send it to Christina right away so she can get on vocals and melodies. So I love playing that one. We actually open our set with it now. We have a whole new set, and that's the first song. So I think it's cool to open it up with that. And we have this little, like, synthy, like, electronic, like, intro that goes along with it. So it's really cool to see it all just hit when it kicks in. So that's my favorite.
very cool.
I would have to go, I've got two. One is Always Hope, just because it's kind of a track everybody seems to like it. It also kind of it's got a good kind of overall sense of how we play and stuff like that. And then Optimist, because whenever I recorded it, it was pretty much bare bones, because that was one of the songs where I kind of changed everything up from what they gave me. And so whenever I play it live, it's completely different.
Yeah.
From whenever I play it.
You're like, this is a totally new song.
From what we played in the studio, and people were like, you should have played that on whenever you guys recorded. And I was like, I wish.
Yeah.
I didn't have a lot of time.
Yeah.
Nick was
I mean, doing 8 songs in one day.
Yeah.
he was thrown to the wolves in the fire.
Yeah.
Like
And then he came out
Immediately.
way on top.
Yeah,
That's when
like-
we were like, you know what? We like you in the band. We're
Yeah.
gonna keep you.
I've known Nick since high school. Nick and I have been friends since my freshman year of high school.
Yeah.
And so when he moved down here, I was like, dude, solid.
It's funny because we had backup plans. Like, if he couldn't do it, like, do we program the drums? Do we have one of our friends do it?
Yeah.
And now I'm like, shit. I crap. I shouldn't have even thought of that. Yeah.
They were all freaking out, and I'm like, Nick's got this, guys.
Don't worry about it. It's cool. You mentioned Always Hope. Christina, would you tell the story behind that song?
Yes.
You told me, and I think it's a fantastic story.
Yeah,
So.
thank you. So Always Hope was one of the more important ones close to my heart, I think. So I work at a children's advocacy center against sexual abuse and physical abuse for children, and there we help them recover through what they've been through with therapy services and medical services, and just show them that there is hope after this, and that they can move on from it. And I do the graphic design there, so I'm not hands-on with the children or anything that they do. I'm in a whole different wing. But they were short-staffed, so they needed help, and I went up there and just played with some of the kids, and we kind of give them a place where they can be children and just be like a normal child. And just spending time up there, there was one girl who I talked to, and she asked me if she could go home with me.
Aww.
And like it just really hit me, and I left and was just very inspired. Like, this is so many people's everyday reality, and like I wanted to write a song that just gives them hope like we do at my work. So I've tried to portray that through Always Hope, but I also wanted to keep it open where anybody could relate to it, but that's where it came from.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, I messaged her and told her that it's definitely one that I'm going to keep on the back burner for those days that are really tough.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So it's on that playlist of like, please don't do anything stupid.
Well, thank you. That means a lot to us.
And did you guys have any challenges or difficulties when you were recording, or just any time in the process of making the album that you don't mind getting into?
I had some challenges. I wrote, I think that like the second half of the whole album in very, very little time. So we've never written a full-length album before. So I've never had like that much to say. Like, I felt like I ran out of like topics, and I was searching and like looking into my friends' lives and being like, where can I get inspiration from?
Yeah.
So next album, I will not do that to myself. I will give myself plenty of time to write, because that was a hurdle for me. But we did it!
Yeah.
And it did lead to some cool stories, like Skyline. I actually ended up bringing Troy and Nathan into it, because that's kind of about our story of how we got started. Like, we just had such a rocky start, and Troy and Nathan actually wrote out like a page essay almost on like what starting Forever Starts Today was like for them, and then I took specific lines out of each one and put it into the song. So it's really cool. It's really special, because it's like our blood from the beginning is in that song. So yeah,
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was. I guess like the hard part was waiting on like releasing it.
Yeah.
That was. I mean, and meeting deadlines with the PR campaign got a little tense at times. But no, like there wasn't like any like single catastrophic like derailing moment. Like the studio time snuck up on us a little bit, and we were just trying to write as many good songs as we could. And then we blinked and it was November, and it's like we go into the studio in a month.
it's time.
Like we need to start like actually practicing these songs live, like in practice. So nothing like
Nothing too
catastrophic
We-
this
we-
time.
yeah.
I think hopefully we got all that out of the way in the
Yeah.
5 times it took us to record our last record.
I feel like in second albums tend to be like where you can take a little bit more time and
Yeah,
be a little bit more, not necessarily laid back, but just
Yeah.
we're hoping to do that with the next record.
yeah.
Yeah.
You guys have any funny stories from recording or touring?
Oh man, all of the new songs are going to be inside jokes from tour. Like all of like the working titles. A lot of them are on my Twitter.
Yeah.
I tweeted some funny tour quotes, which are all on my Twitter at Troy Hirschhorn. A lot of them are way too inappropriate to go into.
Yeah, Later Days was telling me about their backup titles or whatever.
Oh,
their
yeah.
titles for all their songs.
Yeah.
I
I
was
can
like,
only
okay.
imagine.
Yeah. Since he's not here to defend himself, one of the funniest things from tour is Nate likes to sleep under like tables and in corners.
We call him the Hobbit.
Yeah, like we everywhere we slept, where it's like we need to find you a hobbit hole.
It's so weird. Like the kid will sleep under a desk, but like the thing is, like that's how he sleeps. I couldn't knock him for that. I was just like, dude,
It's just
you
a
can.
weird thing to.
There's a
find
bed,
out.
like there's a couch, but I mean, hey,
I
whatever.
think he likes to be sleeping by himself too.
Yeah.
Thing.
It was just really funny.
Yeah.
But it was just like, geez, where are you going to sleep tonight?
Yeah, there were a few jokes about that made on tour.
Everybody snores.
Everybody's
Yeah.
yeah. We caught Christina snoring a few nights.
It's okay, I snore too.
Yeah. You're so tired when you're on tour, man.
Right.
Just get to sleep when you can.
It's the air. Just blame it on the air.
We had there was the Grand Canyon was tight.
Yeah.
I've been saying that to everybody. Everybody's like, "How's tour?" And I'm like, "The Grand Canyon was so sick."
Shows are
So
cool,
big.
but have you been to the Grand Canyon?
You should go sometime. It's pretty
It was so cool. I loved it. Yeah, there was, I mean, Joey's hilarious in the studio. Our producer.
Yeah.
We'd make mistakes, like tracking vocals and stuff, and he'd pull up a plugin. I forget which one it was, but it would sample. Like he'd be able to sample a piece of audio, and he'd be able to change the pitch on it. And so like our voice would crack, or I messed up a take and said something profane into the microphone, and he just like sampled that and like put it like 3 octaves up and like the lowest note. That's probably one of the funniest things that happened.
Yeah.
There were some Katy Perry stories, though.
Oh
Still
yeah,
kind of inappropriate for this, but
yeah,
if you ever get a chance to talk to Joey, he's got them.
yeah.
Yeah.
Joey's got 2 quality Katy Perry stories.
I'm sure we have more funny things too. I just
Like
can't
there are
think
fun, like a lot of them are just like borderline inappropriate.
I mean,
we have Kyle in our
it's
band.
explicit on iTunes, so.
Yeah. Oh. Everybody bring Kyle Apples to every show.
No.
Bring Kyle Apples to the show.
An apple a day for Kyle will keep Christina.
An apple a day for Kyle will keep everybody away.
I had a friend who had too many apples. Like, she went to a farmer's market and they just had like a sale on apples, so she bought like a shit ton of apples. And she was like, my stomach was fucked up forever. I had horrible gas,
Yeah.
terrible diarrhea.
I
Like,
didn't realize that was a thing.
apparently, apples are definitely like asparagus. Like, you just have to be careful.
So
Yeah.
funny. Well, you learn new things when you're on tour.
Right.
Yeah.
What else? Oh, our backing tracks didn't work the first night.
Yeah.
That
we
was
played
our first time to play without
that-
backing track.
in like 2 years, really.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so, well, at least a year and a half since we got the final tracks for Limitless back from Joey. Yeah. I could have fixed it, but there's only one thing I didn't try, and I didn't think of it until after our show.
But
always
now
that
we
one thing.
know that we can. Like,
Yeah.
add them.
Yeah, because like I mean, we've had friends tell us like, "Yo, you guys like don't need the backing tracks," and it's like, but we like to
They're so cool.
like because when we play a show like for a lot of bands like they play a show but like the record quality like on the CD like they're like, oh, that's in the studio. Like for us like the studio record quality is like the lowest acceptable performance for us. Like that's our standard, and like we do things a little bit differently on stage.
Right. Yeah.
But like, yeah, it's like we pride ourselves on trying to sound at least as good as our record live, and part of that's the backing tracks.
Yeah.
But apparently, without backing tracks, we sound super heavy. So that's cool, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of synth that would be missing if there was
Yeah.
one.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
love our
There's a lot of
synth.
synth.
yeah.
But luckily, Troy still had the iTunes playlist of all the songs that has all the metronome.
Yeah.
Because I wear in-ears whenever I play, so we just had click going, and I just counted everybody off, and we were good.
Yeah.
But if we didn't have click, that would have been
It would have been a mess. Yeah. Oh, we were playing "We'll Come Alive" at this first show in San Angelo, and this place is packed too. By the way,
It
like there's like 100 people there, like at least. Like this bar is packed, and like these people have been like waiting on us to like play in Angelo because of Dozer.
Right.
And so like I feel like a jackass up on stage half an hour, like running the show late, trying to get our backing tracks to work, and like. Finally, I'm just like, screw this. We gotta go. We gotta play.
Yeah.
And the sound guy was super cool. Didn't cut us short.
Oh,
Totally
that's
took care of us. Like I was expecting to get our set cut after like the third song.
Yeah.
But so we're going to play "We'll Come Alive," and Nick's like, "What do I do? Like, it's got that piano. I need like all that." And I was like, "Just press play." He's like, "But the piano." I'm like, "Nick, start it from the beginning and press play." he was like, okay. Presses play and counts me, and I just played the piano part on guitar.
Oh, nice.
Which is how we used it. It's originally how. So that's I'm like he didn't know that, and so I was like, no, we can do this.
We got it.
Yeah.
It was
Got
like
worked out.
it was like this really tense 4-second block of that show.
Okay.
I yelled at him. I was like, play the damn song. Just press play. I've got this.
They always tell you things go wrong on tour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Luckily, I think that was the worst thing.
Yeah.
Well,
That was the worst thing.
we did have our battery die day 2 of tour, which worked out because it turns out we had the wrong battery in our van anyways.
Oh, okay.
And so it was before we headed out to Arizona, and so it's like glad we got that sorted before we
Yeah.
got in the desert and in the mountains. So
Seriously.
yeah,
I just had to replace a battery in my car. That's not fun.
yeah.
And how has touring been in general?
I actually think it was not as bad. Like, I think Troy and Kyle and everybody, we generally prep for things very well before we go into them.
Mm-hmm.
And so, everybody was telling us, things will always go wrong. Get ready for your car to break down. That's going to happen. Oh, by the way, yeah, your voice is going to go out, so expect that. And I'm freaking out because our album release show is the last date of our tour.
Yeah.
I cannot have my voice go out for our biggest show on the tour.
Yeah.
But that didn't happen. We didn't really, the battery issue, we got that fixed in less than 3 hours. Yeah.
Yeah.
We really didn't have any issues, and I was telling Joey, our producer, he was asking how tour went. I was like, we weren't at each other's throats. I think we might like each other more than we did.
We got
Yeah.
closer on tour, I
Which-
thought.
Good.
Yeah, it's very good because people are like, watch out for that.
other.
Yeah. So, all in all, I think it went great.
I had a blast. We got back and I was like, do we have to stop touring?
We brought way too much food.
Yeah, okay, so if the average band prep for tour is average person, we doomsday prepper that shit, right? We've still got pounds of dried fruit in the van that haven't been eaten.
It's like the apocalypse is happening. We're just gonna live in our van.
Yeah, we could have made it through anything. Van Frank was ready to go. That's the name of our band.
Yeah.
I had to
They
throw
did
in
that.
we came up with a very...
Every band needs to name their
Oh,
band.
yeah.
So we're just
Definitely.
what could we do? And there's the light bulb just flicks off. It's Van Frank, and we're just that's it.
I'd come up with Vincent Van Gogh,
Yeah.
but that was a little too ritzy.
It's Van Gogh. Anyway.
That's true. That's true. But yeah,
Thank you,
Van
Dr.
Frank,
Who.
right? That's one of my favorite episodes.
Yeah. It's a very good episode. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I was telling a friend, I was like, I want to get an old van and fix it up really good, and then just do some ridiculous graphics on the side that just says band on tour, and then just rent it out to bands to use for tour. But it's gonna be the dumbest graphics ever.
Don't put the graphic on it because it'll get stolen.
That or that's basically saying
That makes
steal
sense.
everything.
Yeah.
inside.
Okay.
My dad actually, he was like,
You
"Can
gotta
we?"
paint it straight white?
Yeah.
He was like, "Can we put the band's logo on a magnetic thing to put on the outside of the van?" I was like, "No." He's like, "Why not?" I was like, "We're gonna get our stuff stolen.
That
They're
makes
gonna
a
break
lot of
into the
sense,
van or steal the trailer."
Whenever all of our gear is worth more than the trailer band can buy,
Well,
it's
yeah.
not a good.
Luckily, we have skulls on our rims, so no one will mess with our band.
Nobody.
It looks like
Yeah.
a satanic metalcore
You can just put
van or something.
a biohazard symbol on
Yeah.
on the
Well, if
side.
you're gonna keep eating apples on tour,
Yeah.
we're gonna have to.
What was your craziest tour story? Just the
Watching the Mayweather McGregor fight in the van outside of the venue in Dallas
On an iPhone.
on an iPhone plugged into the sound system in the van.
oh my goodness.
We're pretty tame. We didn't really yo, let's go out and party and get drunk after
Yeah.
each show. It's we kind of need our sleep to make sure we can do this drive.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
were thinking about going to a bar in Utah, but Utah doesn't really have bars. So we went to Chipotle, ate too much food, and passed out.
Rockstar life.
Yeah, there were no insane stories from tour. I mean, we kept it pretty
It was
responsible.
our first one, so we played it safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said, going to the Grand Canyon, that was the big And that was even on the way. Like,
Yeah.
that was on the way from Arizona to Utah, and so it's like, yeah, well, I never thought I'd see that with my own eyes, but like,
Yeah. It's awesome that you guys got to do that. Like, that you
Yeah.
had time to stop on the way.
yeah.
We
I
had
haven't
some
been to
sketch
Vacation.
food in El Paso.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You want burnt taquitos? Go to this
Burnt
place.
taquitos in like
And soup.
tortilla soup.
Yeah, like,
Just bad.
It was
and everybody was like,
recommended.
yeah, I go there, it's so tight. And it's so not tight.
You guys lied to us.
I felt betrayed. We played with this super tight band in Arizona called Constellations, and I'm trying to plug them like everywhere because they're so good.
Yeah.
They're a mini us.
Yeah, they're like a mini us, and like we walked up to them after their set at the show in Arizona, and like Kyle and I were just like, you guys were awesome. Like that was so good. Like we jammed them in Wyoming. There's nothing in Wyoming.
Yeah.
So Kyle and I listened to them while I was driving, and like they seemed to take that as a big compliment, which was cool. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I spent all day on my couch with my dog. Like, like I'm not cool. I just wanted to tell you guys to keep it up because you guys are awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that band was tight.
Well, you guys are a touring band now. They're probably like, you guys are so
I know. If only you knew the real us.
Yeah, if only people knew how lame like we actually are.
We're pretty boring.
I'm very boring with brief moments of cool to like balance it all out.
I think a lot of people think I'm a lot more exciting than I am because I'm always going to shows and like talking about my podcast.
Felt.
And, like it's not. I'm really. Do you know how much I don't do?
Yeah.
There's a lot of sitting at home and binging on Netflix. A lot
Yeah.
of that. So what's next? What are the goals for the band from here?
Continue touring.
Yeah,
Yes.
we're
Try to play as much as we can everywhere.
we wanna try to get out to Florida hopefully soon. Chicago.
We're trying to set something up for fall, so
Yeah.
everyone
Yeah.
can keep an eye on our Facebook
Yeah.
or our website for our shows.
Yeah, we're just we're trying to get out on the road as much as we can and meet as many new people as possible.
Yeah. Awesome. Do you have any upcoming shows?
Yes, we do. We have one in San Antonio on September 29th at Imagine Books and Records. That's going to be a suicide awareness show where all the benefits go towards music for relief.
Awesome.
So yeah, so excited for that. We haven't been in San Antonio in a while. And then after that is in Dallas at the Dirty 30, September 30th for the Third String Records 3rd year anniversary show.
Nice.
Yeah, so Mike Zemer's putting on a show up there with all of the third string artists. So we'll get to play with all of our label mates. And then in October, on October 10th, we're playing with Emma Rosa at Come and Take It Live here in Austin. So
Yeah, we're
I
stoked.
feel like all of the bands that are opening are just fantastic, and I'm like, I've never listened to Emma Rosa, but I'll go for
Yeah.
everybody else.
They put out a
That's
new
like-
record last year and it's so good.
Okay. I'll
Like-
listen to that.
that's like my life. Like
Yeah.
I don't even go to shows for like the main band anymore. I go for like the local friends.
If I had gone to the Metro Station show, it would not have been for like I know Shake It and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, I just want to see Later Days and
I left right
95 and
before Metro Station.
Lions Tigers.
Lions and Tigers. Thank
Yeah.
you. It was not Later Days.
Yeah. Later Days is on the Emma Rosa show with us.
Yes, they are. That's why I was thinking of that. But yeah.
Yeah, and assuming we survive, our label mates are on that tour,
Okay.
on the Metro Station tour, so that was
Yeah.
cool.
It was cool to see them. I hadn't seen them live before.
Yeah, they're good.
Great stage presence.
Very good. Very cool. And again, for people who maybe haven't heard before, where can we find your music and keep up with you guys?
So check us out on Spotify. Our new album Always Hope is on iTunes as well. Really anywhere that has a music platform, that's where we are.
Rhapsody, if anybody still uses it. That's a joke I've been throwing in, but it's true. It's on Rhapsody. Like,
Yeah, just Google it. Forever starts today.
yeah. Yeah, YouTube, Spotify, Amazon, Google Play, probably Last.fm, I don't know.
Are you guys on Tidal? I feel like everybody is maybe on Tidal. Maybe
I don't
not.
know if we're on Tidal. That's it. I'd have to ask Mike if we're on Tidal.
Yeah.
I don't think we are though. I think he would have told us. I think it's like a higher premium to get on there.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Damn it, Jay-Z.
right? But I don't know. We might be on there. I'd have to ask. But that's a very good question.
Everywhere else, though.
Yeah, like we're on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. If you get a random weird like on Twitter, that was for me, from our band page. Like, I'm shameless with that. Like I'm like, oh, that's tight. Oh, I'm on the band Twitter. Like that's fine. FST supports you.
Right. Sweet. All right, you guys want to play a song?
Yeah.
So this is our acoustic song off of our album Always Hope. It's called Alana.
Okay. Ready?
Thank you for listening. This podcast was created and produced by Julie Roth with help from Nick Colbert. Special thanks to Nikki Nadeau. All songs performed are property of the musicians performing them. If you like the podcast, please share it with your family and friends. You can also rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes, and rate and review on Stitcher to help the podcast get on the charts. If you'd like to support the podcast, you can do so at www.patreon.com/Julie's Infinite Playlist, and give us a like on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.